All right, today we got a special guest. He been in the game for a long time, co-signed by some real legends, a very thorough brother, Big Lou. What's good with you, Lou?
What's good, Panda Chop? How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. How you living, baby?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Everything's been great.
That's great to hear, bro. So whenever anyone comes to Panda Chop News, it's my intention to get their story and help the audience understands who they are as a person, right, on a very deep level. So where were you born and what was it like growing up there?
I was born in Camden, New Jersey, 8 square mile city. Is a little town between Morristown and Philadelphia. Um, Everybody think like we more towards the south. They think we country over here, but ain't nothing country about us. Nothing country. It's just like New York. You know what I mean? It's just a little town that gets overlooked. You know what I mean? Just because where we placed on the map. But the name ring bells in a negative way because we've been for years number one top murder rate city in the country. You know what I mean? So that's how we got the name Camden, New Jersey, and that's what they know us from. But it's nothing to glorify. You know what I mean? But that's where I come from. You know what I mean? Camden.
Mm-hmm. And did you grow up with both your parents in the house? Did you have any siblings?
Well, I was raised by a strong Latin mother. My dad never was there. My real dad just passed away last year. So,
I'm
I got
sorry
to
to hear
kick.
that.
Nah, that's cool. I got to kick it to him. I never knew him anyway, but I got to kick it to him. I forgave him. You know what I'm saying? The best thing to do is forgive people. That's how, you march to success. So I forgave him. He said what he had to say. I said what I had to say. And, I left it there. But my stepdad, he came in when I was like 5.5 years old, when I was young, and he raised me. So that's my father. You know what I'm saying? The man that raised me is who I call dad.
Right, most definitely, and that's good to hear that you were able to forgive him because a lot of times when you don't forgive people, it's more like you got to forgive them for yourself, because you carry that in your heart.
Right, right. That's facts. That's real.
And did you grow up with any siblings?
Yeah. I got four brothers. Four sisters, three brothers. My older sister passed
Damn.
like about 3 months ago. So
Oh
rest
man, I'm
in peace
sorry
to
to
my
hear
big
that.
sister. Yeah, she passed. So that's why I was, I've been low key lately, but coming back out, I'm ready to play a little bit with some of these clowns.
Right, right. And what kind of kid were you like growing up?
Um, you know what is, the funny thing about me was I was with my mother. My mother will tell you the story better than I can. I left the house when I was 14 years old, 13 going on 14. Um, I thought I was a man, and I always wanted to be independent. You know what I'm saying? I found a slumlord, and he rented me a little apartment. You know what I'm saying? And I started hitting the streets. So I was selling drugs at 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? And you know, ducking and dodging my mom and my father because they was looking at me like this boy crazy. But I just wanted to be on my own at that age. You know what I'm saying? By the time I was 16, I got a girl I was living with. I got her pregnant, you know, with my daughter, who's my oldest daughter. So it was like a kid having a kid. So,
Right.
I grew up fast, you know what I mean? And from there, everything just got real, you know what I'm saying? I really come from what I talk about. And even though I don't glorify it all the time in my music, I just come from that life, you know what I'm saying? I come from a place that was dangerous, that was hard growing up there, but I earned my respect in the street the hard way, you know what I mean, as a kid, and learn how to dibble and dabble and do what I had to do, you know what I mean, to become the man I am today.
Most definitely, man. So the household that you grew up before you left, was it a very traditional Latino household?
Yeah, yeah, you know what? It was We was tight, you know what I'm saying? Put it like that. Like me and my brothers, we were arguing, fight. I always felt like I was different from all of them, you know what I mean? And it's still like that till we got older, but at the end of the day, they was my family. If you mess with one of them, you had to mess with all of us. You know what I'm saying? So we always had each other's back. You know what I mean? We grew up, like I said, a strong Latin mother. She did everything she had to do to raise us right. You know what I'm saying? So when I left the house at a young age, I broke her heart because it was like a domino effect. I saw all my sisters leave the house, and even though she did an exceptional job, my sisters was leaving one by one, running away with their boyfriends, and then my brothers started doing the same thing. And I was the last one, and I found myself doing the same thing, wanting to be independent, even though they was leaning on somebody. I just wanted to do me. And but it was yeah, it was a traditional house, you know what I'm saying, for the time that we had together. I say yeah.
So was there a specific reason why you wanted to break out real early?
You know what, Panda? It's funny because at 13, the average kid would be thinking about playing games and stuff like that. I was thinking about money. I was like, yo, I was always on a money trip. Like, I loved their sneakers, you know what I'm saying? So when I was out there doing it, everybody would tell you, if you go through the hood, everybody be like, oh, Big Lou. I remember he had like 3,000 different. I had a sneaker for every day of the year. And it was like, I wanted my sneakers, I wanted clothes, I wanted my own house. That was me. You know what I mean? I was like that. But little did I know that in order to get that, I had to do some things that I might have regret later in life. And I looked myself in the mirror and I was ready for it. So that's how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I grew up hard, but I wouldn't change nothing for the world, Panda, for real. It taught me a lot of responsibilities.
Do you think that that desire came from a place of having like a lack of like in the household, like as far as like financially, or what did you think that caused you to want to have those type of things?
No, definitely, definitely, it came from that. I was tired of seeing my mom struggle. You know what I'm saying? Even though her and my stepdad, he came through and he helped a lot, it still was a struggle because it was a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? It was, you could say it was 8 of us because then I include my little stepbrother, which is my real brother because he grew up with us, which was my son from my stepdad's side. He grew up with us. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard to feed all the mouths, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, the jobs wasn't paying that much. You know what I mean? My stepdad was probably making $3 and something cents an hour, you know what I'm saying?
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, and then my mom would take little odd jobs here and then get, government help, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And my stepdad didn't want to see her work, so she would dibble and dabble with the government work when she didn't work, and with all that, it just wasn't adding up, and I saw that struggle, and I just refused to see my mom struggling any longer, and I'm up here thinking that she's going to accept me leaving the house so I could help out, and it just made it worse. You know what I'm saying? That's a different story. You know what I mean?
I saw this interview where you spoke about domestic violence and how it affected your life in multiple ways. Can you speak to that and the different ways it affected your life?
Well, yeah, domestic violence. You know what I mean? I really didn't know that I was infected with that blood until I started doing that myself. You know what I'm saying? Like my real father, when I was young, I remember him beating my mom. You know what I'm saying? And always wanting his way, and even to the point that one time I saw him hold her down on the bed and force herself on her. And as a kid, I grew up seeing that until my stepdad stepped in. You feel me? And to that time, I saw that. And when my stepdad came in, it was like everything was good from there. But then when I got with my baby mom, I would say around 14, 15 years old, because I told you I grew up early. And me and her started dating. I was like 14. before my daughter was born around 16, I found myself putting my hands on her. And even though I wasn't like punching her or nothing like that, I still was shaking her, slapping her. You know what I'm saying? It's still a form of domestic violence. You feel me? And at that time, I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? And when I was in the streets, things would tick me off. I come back having a bad day. I sometimes take it out on her, more verbal. But even though it's more verbal, sometimes they rather get hit than dumb. You talking to them reckless, calling them the B word, or saying stuff that really hurts their feelings. And I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still a kid. And that's when I started noticing as I got older, like, damn, I'm hurting the people I really love, the people that's riding out for me. You know what I'm saying? And I see my sisters go through it, my mother, the main one. And I said, I'm infected with this man's blood that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to do something, with domestic violence. And that's why I do the type of music I do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, it heals myself. And I get to talk to ladies about domestic violence, and, they pay close attention. They like, why do you feel like you could talk about it? And I tell them, because I was the one that used to be the abuser. And you know what I'm saying? I'm learning from y'all just as much as y'all hearing it from me. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised, man. It did wonders. That song did wonders because it touched so many ladies that to this day, years later, I still go to different places and still talk to ladies that dealt with domestic violence and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised, it uplifts them, and the message is just the best feeling in the world, you know what I mean, to help stop domestic violence, especially today with the youth, the way it's going now, you know what I mean, and not understanding the concept of how they can become abusive towards their spouse, their girlfriend, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, man, definitely. So for you, that image of your biological father doing that to your mom stuck in your head until you were 5 years old, to be able to see how a real man is supposed to treat a woman, and he became that model for you, that he modeled those behaviors that were more appropriate, right, in the household. And so for you, it seems like it was like building inside of you for a long time. Would you say that you kind of suppressed that until like it came to be when you were older?
Yeah, I would say that's what, I mean, it suppressed it. And in ways, it was just a thing that it felt at the time, it felt like you know more than the female, you know what I'm saying? And that you could control. And the men got this thing that they could say more than a woman, you know what I'm saying, that they're always right and the woman is you know what I mean, is not right, or she don't know nothing. And you get into this habit that you think you above them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're above a female. And if I never disrespected my mother to the times that my mom slapped me in the face with an open hand when I was already a grown man, I was already 20 something years old, I just looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I love you, I'll talk to you later, and walked away. Because that's how much I respected my mother, you know what I'm saying? So if I respected my mother that way, why should I be hurting somebody else that's the mother of my kid or somebody I love? You know what I'm saying? And that's just what made me get a grip of everything, and you know what I'm saying, and put it into perspective, Chop. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I definitely wasn't gonna live with that, and I basically was a coward at the time. You know what I'm saying, and not even know it. How can I be a real nigga or a real man doing shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
So one thing I thought that you brought up that was really important was that sometimes the verbal abuse, or a lot of times actually, it's even just as bad, if not worse, because of how you breaking them down to feel like less than a human being. You know what I mean? And like you said, like, you having kids and everything like that, you don't want to model that kind of behavior for them to either think that's acceptable to do or to have done to themselves. especially with you having a daughter and everything, like that's really important, man. So that's real commendable that like you were able to see that kind of behavior and make music about it, make art about it, and really speak to others to spread that message of how it's really important to see that this is this is a problem.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. And I never noticed how much of a problem it was till I started going out there, talking to some of the females that was going through domestic violence. I didn't even know some of the facilities that was available for females that went through it and went through that whole process of healing because they had an abusive relationship. And some of the stories, man, it made me realize, like, man, I'm glad I like nipped that shit in the bud from the rip because that's an ugly thing to be, man. You know what I'm saying? A man that makes a woman feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely grateful to the Lord that I changed my life around and did better. You know what I'm saying? And bettered myself. You know what I mean? To teach my sons, never ever put your hand on a female or even degrade her by using your mouth as a weapon too. Because the
Right.
mouth could be, your mouth could be just as worse as you putting your hand on a female. The verbal abuse is 10 times worse.
At what age did you realize you wanted to pursue music and rapping?
You know what? It started early. It probably started around 16, 15, 16. And it started when I was on the block. I was getting some shit off. I was selling my little packs. And I was always freestyling, you know what I mean? Just playing around, freestyling, spitting bars, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, a lot of people was like, yo, you just freestyling off the top. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just, they like, yo, you should really start rapping. You sound good or whatever. You feel me? And it was just a thing that started like that. And then a year later, there was this dude called Anthony Williams. You know what I'm saying? He heard me and he was like, yo, I got an independent label, you know what I'm saying? You should get down with me. You know what I mean? So I started checking him out. You feel me? He was the first one that took me to a professional studio, you know what I mean? And when I went there, it was history, chop, you know what I mean? Then it started taking off from there.
And do you remember like that first moment that you fell in love with hip hop? Like, was there a particular thing that made you fall in love with hip hop?
Definitely. My brother, he was a DJ. You know what I'm saying? My brother's a straight B-boy. He was breakdancing, DJing, popping, you know what I'm saying? Freestyling, everything, you know what I mean? So the first time he put Eric B for president and I heard that
Ooh.
joint, it was a rap. Look, you even know, you know what I'm saying? It was a rap, and he put that on, and I heard that shit. I said, Joe, I gotta do this, you know what I mean? And I just got addicted from there, you know what I'm saying? I started getting all the Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying, and Coogee rap and all that, and it was over from there. I was hooked.
What about hip hop like spoke to you in that way? Was it like kind of like just being like the message from the people that were like oppressed, or what was it? The freedom of that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was hearing the stories because back then, it was more pure. The art form was for the culture, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they were saying something. It ain't like now they just say anything, but they were speaking and it was like, damn, they talking my language, you feel me? If I could take and do the same thing and tell my story, you know what I mean? That's what I want, the world to know my story. Everybody got a story. And I felt as though that my life is interesting enough to, what I mean, put out there and I'll get the attention of people. And that's what really, happened too. You know what I mean? Once I started rapping and putting the words into the art form and telling stories, you know what I mean? People in the hood was like, yo, you like the Puerto Rican Tupac out here. You feel me? Like, you this and that. And it felt good to, to get that compliment, you know what I mean? And that made me work harder, you know what I mean, with my pen and get my pen game up, you know what I mean?
I think that that's what's so amazing about hip hop is that, you can hear it from across the country, across the world, and be able to touch somebody with your message or be touched by somebody else's message, right? I think for a lot of people, especially in the inner cities and the minority communities, sometimes growing up in the difficult circumstances, you can feel really alone, right? And then when you hear somebody on the record saying what they do, it's like, man, it's like it makes you feel comforted in that way.
Exactly. Exactly. That's definitely true, man, because I found so much comfort in hearing other MCs that had something to say that it was like, yo, I gotta tell my story, articulate what I feel and everything I went through, man, because sometimes, that's healing, you know what I mean? It's healing for not only the people, but it's healing to yourself. I know me as an MC, if it wasn't for hip hop, I would have been worse off, man, because God knows I was out there wilding in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And it took a lot for me to stop the way of life I was living. And I could honestly say that hip hop was a big plus in my life.
Yeah, the things that we go through in life, a lot of times, especially as men, we're taught not to be able to think about our feelings or communicate our feelings, right? But as an artist, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to become vulnerable. You're supposed to be able to reflect on things throughout your life. So when you're able to put that pen to the pad, it is therapeutic. It is a way for you to be able to process those things that you've been through.
But but that's definitely true, man.
So for you, what top five MCs like influenced you? I'm not gonna say what are your favorite. You know what? I don't know because it's hard because the top five dead or alive is this. No one's ever gonna agree. But like, who influenced you the most?
Sheesh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Does it got to be an MC?
Nah, whoever.
Because if I tell you who influenced the most in hip hop and who influenced me the most in hip hop, I'm gonna give you an MC and I'm gonna give you somebody that influenced hip hop for me that wasn't even a rapper or nothing. But my son, I got a son. My son got autism. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Shout out to my son Zach. And him having autism, he would say things that made me write certain songs that people love to this day. Stop hitting me. Crackhead. I had a song called Crackhead. I was talking about my brother, wrapped up in the drugs and stuff. He would be the one that be like, Dad, you gonna do a song about your brother being on drugs? Mind you, this kid has autism. You know what I mean? And he would just come out because he was my biggest fan. Everything I put on, he'll catch on and he'll want to listen to just me. He didn't want to listen to nobody. He just wanted to listen to his dad. You feel me? And he would say the things that would just catch me off guard. And I would come up with a concept to what he told me. You know what I mean? And I used to keep it quiet. And I'm like, hey, this kid's just saying stuff that's making me right. And he's like one of my biggest inspirations. Man, it got to be my son first. And then when it comes to the MCs, I got to give it to, I got to give it to, it's so hard. But I got to say, it got to be between Big Daddy Kane and G Rap.
mm,
It got to
excellent
be,
choices.
yeah. And then after that, I will have to put KRS-One in that too. You know what I mean? Somewhere in there because KRS-One was lethal when it came to concepts and stuff like that.
And he can
And then,
freestyle too.
yeah, he'll
Yeah,
freestyle. He'll definitely freestyle your head off. So
yeah. His freestyles is better than people's writtens.
yeah, yeah, that's real, yo. KRS-One will eat you up with some freestyles. Don't even do no type of writtens and go in there and chew your ass up.
Right, right.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like people like that. And then after that, of course, is the typical ones, the J's, the Pops, the Bigs. And some of the ones that don't get enough recognition, like J. Rue the Damager, you know what I'm saying? LL Cool J, I feel he don't get enough props due either. LL was bad, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
he was bad, even though some of them was still before my time. But like I said, my brother, used to feed me some of the older stuff, and I learned how to like some of the older stuff, the Slick Ricks of the world. You know what I'm saying? And even some of the ones that was, I guess you could say, a little watered down. Like I respected them back in then, like Kwame. You know what I'm saying? Some of the older motherfuckers and shit. That's how addicted to hip hop I was. I'm addicted to music just in general. You know what I mean? I listen to country, I listen to everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got an ear for everything. But I don't know. To answer your question, I guess G Rap and Big Daddy came between them, child.
See, I would say that like I could tell for you it's about the substance. So it's not so much the presentation, like the genre, right? But it's like what
Right.
you can absorb from this that is like that deep shit, that real stuff.
Exactly.
Um and I like that like you a purist, very traditionalist hip hop, like you like that
Well,
real lyrical um just stuff that really means something, man. You know.
yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
and to bring it back to your son with the autism, it's really interesting the way that they process information. Certain things they might miss, like certain social cues, the way that they conduct themselves because it's just not how they process things. But man, autistic people are some of the most smart people, bro. It's just like they have certain things that they're very good at, and man, that's amazing that he's able to understand your music, able to give you inspiration and ideas.
Word, that's my biggest fan right there, man. Zach, that's my boy. My
That
biggest
feels
fan,
good,
man.
doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because you
do.
already doing it for your
Yeah,
kids regardless,
right.
right? But when you
Exactly.
see like your son is like really rocking with you on that kind of level, man, you
Yeah.
might have to pull like some of that Biggie stuff where you write them on the points on the album, right? Like how Biggie did with his daughter. Isn't that what he did?
Yeah, well, he I got a song with him that we talking about some stuff. I actually took him to the studio and he was amped. You know what I'm saying? And I put the mic on and he acted like he was doing it for years. And he went in there and I told him, "Yo, say this or say that." And he just went on and said, "I'm gonna say what I want to say." And you know what I mean? And and I took and I recorded it and I just put it on record. I let him say what he had to say, and he did good. You know what I mean?
That's
That's my
dope,
boy,
man.
man. Yeah, well,
It's great to see when fathers really step up and really be there for their kids and show that not all men are more likely to be deadbeats and everything, especially from the situation that you came through, right? Like I'm sure
right,
not growing up with your biological father taught you a lot in
right.
regards to like what kind of father you want to be.
Yeah, yeah, and it was hard. It was hard. I wasn't the best dad as far as like I would never leave them. I would never leave my kid's life. Like that was definitely not gonna happen. But I still was rough around the edges because I was like trying to make sure that my son's was hard because my son that got autism, he got a brother that's a twin. He's a twin, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So he got a twin brother named Zeph, you know what I mean? And his twin brother, when I tell you, if they get to hear my son right now, I actually took him up to Rock Nation a couple years ago. And Lenny S, shout out to Lenny S too. Lenny S heard him and he was like, "Yo, it's inevitable, right?" He said, "This kid, he gonna blow up if he play his cards right." Because my son is crazy with it. His
Mm.
pen game is crazy dangerous. Because I used to sit him on my lap ever since, what I mean, he was 5, 6, you know what I mean, and beat machines and everything, and he learned how to do it all. But then he became dangerous with the pen too, you know what I mean, and doing concepts that I didn't even know. I'll give you a funny story real quick. He said, "Dad, I want you to hear this." So I said, "Make sure it's real, make sure it's authentic, because that's the main thing that was with me. Make sure it's you. Don't try to be something you ain't, because I don't want to hear it."
Right.
So he started off rapping like, "Yeah, I got the gun, I took and I murdered 100 people or whatever." And I'm like, this nigga is crazy. And I'm like, he doing everything I told him not to do, Chop. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at him like, all right, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna listen to it, but I'm listening to it, but I'm like, he killing it though. You feel me?
Right. The schemes are there, right? The scheme, the cadence, the flow is all there.
Yeah, everything was there, but then at the end, it ended with, and I'm trying to remember it real good, man. But I remember vividly. All I know is that at the end of the song, he was like, and then you tell me, he said, you featured on it. You come in and you say, yo, turn off that damn game. And all that time, all the people he was killing, hijacking cars, he was playing San Andreas on PlayStation.
Oh, that's a
So,
classic game
so
too.
yeah, so it was great. You know what I mean? At the time, I was like, yo, so it was crazy. The concepts was there. You know what I mean? So ever since he was young, you know what I mean, he had it. And even though I used to help him, you know what I mean, he wound up doing it himself and becoming creative on his own and got like, oh, I'm telling you, I gotta send you something. You're gonna be like, damn, this kid is special. You feel me?
You
He's real
planted
dope.
those seeds real early on, man.
Yeah,
You
definitely,
know,
man. He's like the best kept secret right now. You know what I mean? Him and my young boy that's down with the team. Kid, shout out to Kid too.
when and how did you meet K Slay?
You know what? I met K Slay. They was having an event. I believe it was a 721 event. Mecca from New York. She always had these events in New York and stuff like that. And I wind up getting signed to one of her events from um from one of the dudes and stuff that was my acting manager at the time, which was an acting manager, you know what I mean? But he took me to New York and he had that. I was already in the process of going to New York to get heard because I already had Jersey on lock and I had Philly on lock. So everybody knew me there, but I wasn't getting my foot in the door. So I said, let me go to New York. And that was the first stop. It was 721 Productions. Like I remember it was Mecca. And K Slay was there hosting the event. So when I saw Slay, I said, I'm gonna get this nigga's attention. And I said, I know I'm gonna kill it. Because my mindset was, I don't give a fuck if who was there, 50 Cent, anybody. I said, I know when I'm on that stage, I don't feel like nobody could fuck with me. That was just my mentality. So he had some niggas there, Pat was there and everything. And I actually put I actually put the whole thing on one of my mixtapes, how me and Slay met. When I got on stage, Chop, I killed that shit so bad that he had to invite me up to Hot 97 the following week
Wow.
because he was like, yo, he's like, I don't know this nigga from a can of spray paint. He said, but this shit ain't normal. You know what I mean? That's how bad I did it dirty. You feel me? And and that's what I was set out to do. I wanted to be lyrical. I wanted to go up there, but then I did it with emotional songs. I did it with shit about my life, with concept songs, to the point that it almost hypnotized the crowd, and they was going off on every line, every ball. And it took off from there, you know what I'm saying? And less than a month after that, I was signed with Street Sweepers, you know what I mean?
Wow. So what was the relationship like with him during the early stages of you being signed? Did you feel like you guys had a really good chemistry? Did he seem to understand where you was trying to go with everything?
You know what? That relationship was lovely. I ain't even gonna lie. And I think I think if he was alive today, we would have fixed our differences because our relationship was special. You know what I'm saying? And we used to kick it all the time on how we wanted to do things and stuff like that. That it was so open, chop and it was so real that if I could turn back, I wouldn't change nothing because I always felt like I was right and I knew I was right. But I made one mistake, and that one mistake was I should have did better and talked to my brother. and not had my panties in a bunch and caught feelings on certain things. I should have talked to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was wrong too at the end, and it was wrong, and we'll get into that later. Of course, I know you're gonna cover everything because that's what you do. Trust me, I've been watching. I've been watching your ass, so I'm well prepared for you because you go in. And I said, my thing was that our relationship was good, man, and I missed it that the most about me and him. How we used to talk, how he used to call me at 3 in the morning, yo. It was like almost every day, 3 in the morning, and we'll talk to like 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? For at least 2 hours, just busting it up about music, about life, and it was real. You know what I'm saying? It was real. So that's the part that bothered me the most. You know what I'm saying? And may he rest in peace. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
So that's what had to have hurt the most when the business went sour, is because like the relationship was really real. It wasn't forced or
But
anything like that. You really felt like this man was your brother.
but
And then
but
the disagreement came in, and it came from a place of hurt, right? It was like, man, like how could you, when we are supposed to be. And then that, that I totally understand where you're coming from. And that's why a lot of times people say like you shouldn't go into business with like someone that you like real, tight with, because the lines, they get blurred. And in something
yeah,
like hip hop in the music business, it's really easy for the lines to get blurred, right? It's not your stereotypical 9 to 5 where it's like, oh, that's your boss, you
right,
know? And
yeah,
so
right.
where did the confusion or the what happened exactly? Did you feel like he wasn't pushing your career the right way? Or was like there red flags that came up?
Nah, well, what happened was when the lawsuit came, he was doing everything. He was, trust me, Slade was doing everything, and he was doing everything he needed to do. You know what I mean? But when the lawsuit came about, he told me, he said, Lou, I can't play your music until this shit get resolved. You feel me?
And
And
what was the lawsuit exactly?
well, the lawsuit was, I was with this gentleman. It started off with Frank. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep it honest. You know what I mean? Like Frank was somebody that came into the scene. He liked my talent, and he said, "Joe, I think I could really, help you push your career further." He was pushing his brother at the time. His brother had a group, you know what I'm saying? And he was going through hard times with his brother because he used to tell me his brother was hard headed and whatever, you know what I'm saying? They had going on over there. So at the time, I was like, well, this man from upstate New York, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he got his shit together. Boom, you know what I'm saying? And we just built a friendship first. You feel me? Got to know each other or whatever. He started hooking me up with something, you know what I mean? With little shows here and there. But we ain't had nothing signed or nothing. I wasn't signed to him or nothing like that. And he was like, yo, I know some people that, they starting something. And me, I was always on guard. Like, I got to hear you out. I got to see if it's going to be beneficial for my career. You know what I mean? I don't just jump like a lot of these cats do. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So he started, acting almost like a manager. You know what I'm saying? And he did a lot because me and him did, we did a lot of work together. You feel me? So I can never be fake and get on camera and say that this man that did nothing because he did do a lot. But he hooked me up with some cats that was doing grimy business. You feel me?
Mm.
And I put my trust in him. And if you going to introduce me to somebody and they do grimy business, why introduce me to them at all?
So he
You know,
knew that they was grimy.
yeah, he knew.
Oh
He
man.
knew. He knew. And even though he might say different, what I mean, I'm not gonna make it about him because I'm not shitting on him. Me and him did had a good relationship at the time, even though other people might not see it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I get why people see it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of times he did do some dumb shit. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you knew these niggas was who they say they are and they came out, so when you hear the rest of the story, you know why I say what I say. You know, you put me in harm's way and it took a toll on my career. And, you know, that's why we here talking.
So Frank introduces you to some people that does shady business. How does that relate back to K Slay and the lawsuit?
Well, Slade was shopping me around. When Slade was shopping me around, we went to this first, to this first sit down. And Slade told me from the rip, he said, I got Pap 1.5. If they not giving me 3-5 million for you, I ain't taking shit. And he like, they better either double that or even go further. It's like, cause nigga, you could win Grammys out this bitch. You feel me? That's how much faith he had in me. You feel me?
Wow.
And you know, he never had these talks with Pat. And I knew he ain't had these talks with Pat because the conversations we had. You feel me? And then when everything got ugly, the whole narrative changed. Now Pat was the realest nigga next to you, but I knew the truth. I knew how you felt about Pat. I knew you was dealing with a hard head artist. You feel me? And I was coming in the game hungry. I was coming at it from a different angle. I showed him that I could do radio jams and everything. You know what I'm saying? So back to what we were saying, he couldn't do nothing because when these dudes found out that he was about to have a sit down for a big amount of money, they took and put out some paperwork saying that they gave me 500,000 for Law City Records, which is my label, my independent label that Slay used to shout out all the time on mixtapes. They said they gave me 500,000, which they ain't give me a penny for me and for the artist. They just started saying stuff just
That's
because they thought,
crazy.
yeah, that we was affiliated like that. Now, mind you, I only met these dudes one time, and they flew me to Miami, which I thought I was going to get paid to do a show, and it wind up to go see an artist that they had for they could propose something bigger for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was, I was caught off guard, but it still was kind of business. And they made sure like they was trying to, spoil me like, yo, if you sign with us, like this is what it's gonna be. You feel me? So I kept telling Frank, like, it's cool that they doing all that, but I'm not trying to sign like that. You feel me? Like they was taking care of certain things. And then when we started going deeper into it, Frank was like, yo, they want to take care of certain things, you know what I mean? You should let them and we'll have an agreement. Mind you, nothing still is on paper. So I told Frank, I said, look, let's see how it go. Let's take it as an independent label. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to take and back us up, you know what I mean? Make sure that everything is open. You know what I'm saying? That we putting everything on the table and everything is an open deal. You know what I mean? Because I don't want things to get misconstrued and they start thinking that they running this and running that. You know what I mean? Because I really didn't want that. So just because they put a couple dollars into my career and stuff like that, and it was towards things that was for me personally, you know what I'm saying? Which we'll get into that too in a little bit. You know what I mean? They thought that my deal, they take everything. You know what I mean? That's why they made the whole what you call that? Uh, when they put the email blast out there, I'm all over the place right now. Um,
Like spam, like the massive spam, or
nah, they put a when you breaking something, I forget. Shoot myself. Well, they put it out there. You feel me? That they gave me this amount of money, which was just a straight lie. You
right.
feel me? And they was advertising it, but now I knew why they was doing that. They was doing that because Slade was working on his deal, and they looked at it like an opportunity to get all this money and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I never knew why they was going all out trying to do this. But then later on, I found out that they was trying to pay for everything because they was using me like a commodity, selling me like a commodity to shareholders.
Oh,
And people was putting millions of shares and dollars into backing Big Lou. You know what I'm saying? Into putting into Big Lou. So these niggas was making thousands. You feel me? Thousands of dollars, and they up here trying to feed me pennies. You know what I'm saying? Into stuff that I didn't even know about. I really had to find all this shit out when the lawsuit dropped. And that was because thanks to George, which was my lawyer, my attorney from Miami Dade, he started doing his homework, you know what I mean? And I had to protect myself. And a lot of things started coming out and shedding light into what they was doing behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? And they was just feeding a bunch of lies. So back to what you were asking me, Slay couldn't play my music until this thing was done. So the downfall with me and Slay was I said, Slay, I have to pay my lawyers. I could pay my lawyers, but it's a lot. I need you to help me. You know what I'm saying? Now, Pat had a lawsuit himself at the same time, around the same time, with the ambulance service because he did a video where he used the ambulance people, from New York. And they told him if you lose the ambulance, it got to be for something positive or whatever. He winds up doing a video that he's shooting niggas or whatever, and
oh,
and yeah, you know what I'm saying, some dumb shit. And they picking him up in the ambulance and shit like that. So they sued him for that because they breached the contract of
right.
what the video, the ambulance service was supposed to be used for in the video. Long story short, he wound up paying 75,000 or something like that. So mine was less. So when Slay didn't help me, I was like, damn, you paid 75 G's for this nigga lawyer and you can't pay half of mine.
And I'm the
So I'm like,
star that you've been telling me this whole time, right? Like I'm your number one.
exactly,
Right.
exactly, exactly. So, you know what I mean? Now I'm looking at it like, well, these talks we've been having ain't as real as I'm thinking. You feel me? Because if you can't pay for my lawyer fees and shit like that, I took I said, I ain't gonna say nothing. I still stood with street sweepers. And I said, all right, Slay, can you still play some of my records though? He said I could play some of the records, you feel me? But I'm just gonna put them on, you know what I'm saying, through the night, and then I'm gonna get different DJs, send it to different DJs to play it on their section just to keep the buzz going until we can find out what we have to do with this. I start grinding my ass off, get the money to pay my lawyer fees. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm not going to ask him no more. He brought it up one day. And I said, whatever you can do to help, I really need your help. He was like, I got you. That I got you never came about. Long story short, I wound up paying my lawyer fees on my own. Close to 50,000.
Wow.
Busting my ass. Good niggas that I had in my corner. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. They know who they are because they went through the process with me. I paid that. I felt some type of way. I was like, damn, you know what I mean? I wanted to paying this shit, but thank God I did because it was to the point that they would have had me not doing music ever again. You know what I'm saying? Not even to entertain my fans, you feel me? Or nothing. So me, I was so in love with hip hop, I wasn't gonna stop this. I had other opportunities or whatever. And that's when the records that I did stopped going to other DJs and he just stopped playing me.
Mm.
So I said, yo, Slay, what's going on? You not even playing me. You said you was gonna play me to keep the buzz. What's going on? Nah, I can't play you right now. I can't do that. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, why you can't play me? You said you was gonna play me. Little did I know that they was coming at him from a different way. I was pissed because he should have told me that. If
Right,
he would have,
definitely.
yeah, if you would explain that to me, I would have never reacted the way I reacted. Me not knowing that they came at him another way, he was trying to do it to protect me because he wanted it over too, because he wanted to drop my shit. But instead of him telling me, you know what I'm saying, like saying, "Yo, Lou, this is what's going on. They trying to backdoor me. They trying to do this, mom." If I can understand, you know what? I would have been like, "All right, Slay, nah, I get it. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be humble. You know me from being patient and humble already. So why wouldn't I be patient and humble and wait till this shit ride out?"
But he left you in the
I
dark.
start feeling some type of way, and that's when I said, "Nah, fuck that." So when, like I was saying about Slate, when I found out, you know what I'm saying, that these people was doing what they was doing, you know, me, I started lashing out, you know what I mean, and telling my side of the story in a whole different way, you know what I'm saying, which I didn't think was bad in a sort of a way, you know what I'm saying, because it was like I'm speaking my truth, you know what I mean, and he kind of didn't like it, so he called me.
So were you doing this in public, or were you like trying to talk to him first about it?
I mean, that's where it goes back to me saying I reacted in a way I should have not reacted because
Hmm.
I only reached out to him once to talk, and when he gave me the answer I didn't want to hear, I started acting out. You feel me? So from there, I can honestly say that I was wrong. You feel me? But when you already give me that vibe that you can't pay for my lawyer, you know what I'm saying? My attorney fees, it kind of you kind of feel some type of way already because it's like you gave Pat 75 grand for his lawyer fees and all kind of shit, and you couldn't help me. At least you ain't even give me a dime. You know what I'm saying? Like
And you're not going to play my records.
exactly. So
So
you feel what I'm saying, child? Like
it was just more of like that he wasn't going to help you in any way, and you were in a tight spot.
exactly. So that's how I took it. I took it like, man, if I couldn't get nothing from him, from my lawyers, you know what I'm saying? Like why should I believe anything else this man is saying? You know what I'm saying? When he told me, yo, I'm gonna stick by you, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna play your records, none of that shit got fulfilled. You feel me? So I really felt some type of way. So I wish I would have tried to talk to him one more time, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It happened. It happened. I don't live with regrets. I, I just wish it would have been different. But I learned something from it. Did I feel I was wrong? No, I definitely don't feel I was wrong. You know what I mean? I just feel as though like maybe it wasn't my time. Maybe God had different plans for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not somebody that need hip hop to live. You feel me? Like I know how to make money. I got ways, you feel me, of making money. I'm a smart man, you know what I'm saying, and I'm good. You feel me? I'm good. I'm living, you know what I'm saying? I'm living better than some of these rappers. So my thing is like, I got a good wife. My wife make more than these rappers. So you know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just about I love the hip hop. I fell in love with hip hop and I was doing it from the heart. I wanted to spread my message to the world, you know what I'm saying? To people, that had problems and stuff like that. And it just felt like this hip hop shit was fake as hell, you know what I'm saying? Like I started seeing people in a different light. Not to mention some of the rappers that I looked up to, they was fucking frauds. You feel me? That's another
That's why
story.
they say don't ever meet your idols, man. You will
Yeah,
be
you know,
disappointed. You'll be let down.
that's the fucking truth.
So during this time, though, aside from the lawyer situation and everything, were you going through other personal things that you feel like influenced you to react that way?
I mean, well, taking it back, yeah, definitely. Um, Pap Pap had issues with Fat Joe before. You know what I'm saying? And I remember it like yesterday because Slay. I was the first person. Slay called me like 1 in the morning and said, "Yo, Pap just got jumped." You feel me? And I said, "Pap just got jumped? What you mean?"
Wait. Okay, you jumping ahead in the timeline right now because we gonna get there. We
Oh,
gonna get there. But
all right.
um,
Nah,
yeah.
but what you was
So
asking me? Because I thought that was, you know what I mean? Uh,
no, but I meant like personally in your
my
personal life. Like,
personal
were you
law.
like going through things? Yeah, like
I'm,
because sometimes when we get real overwhelmed with other things going on, and then like we take things a little more personal.
yeah, I was. I ain't gonna lie. I was going through other things. You feel me? I was already going through a bad breakup. You know what I'm saying? I got married young. You feel me? You know, to like I said, with the mother of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And my twin boys. And you gotta remember, I met her when I was young. You know what I'm saying? I ran away. One of the reasons I ran away was because of her. I was 13 going on 14. You feel me? By the time I was 15, she was having my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I
Wow.
grew up early. You feel me? I grew up a man too early. And by the time I was 18, 19, we had the twins. You feel me? We had my two boys. So it's like I said, I was a kid having kids. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, when I started doing the whole slate thing, we've been years together already, and we was going through a bad breakup. You know what I'm saying? And I was constantly going, so I was constantly seeing other women, and I just didn't want to be there no more. You know what I'm saying? And it was a thing that we just grew out of love. You know what I'm saying? Like she was a good woman. I could never badmouth the mother of my kids. Like she was a good woman, you know what I'm saying? She had her stuff with her, I had my stuff. It wasn't meant to be no more. So I was going through shit with that. I was going through other little shit, other shit that was minor, you know what I'm saying, dealing with, fake niggas and you know what I mean, the streets and you know what I mean, because I was still out there like that. You feel me? I was still doing my 1 2. So, sometimes that can play a part in it, you know what I mean? So I would
Right.
say it did definitely play a little part in it, but not too much. You know what I'm saying? Not too much.
So it seemed to get real serious because I saw in your interview with Baller Status, you was like saying he built his career off drama, but then he didn't want the drama with you and that he was scared of everybody. So what was going on at that time that made it escalate to that level?
I mean, when I said what I said on Baller Status, he responded. Well, he responded with when I did the diss track. You feel me? And when I did the diss track, no more than 8 hours, he responded. And I was so
Was that when he went on Vlad or this was
yeah,
something else? Like he
yeah.
responded a different
That's
way?
when he went on Vlad. And I was
Okay.
so blind. This is how I wasn't I wasn't in my right mind either to a point because I looked at it like if I put this diss record, which really ain't a diss, is really just airing out the truth. I bet you he'll call me then and try and make this work the right way. That's how I'm looking at it.
Mm.
I'm looking at it like watch him get back on his bike and then me and him gonna get on the right path. I'm looking at it a whole different way. And I'm like, and we gonna squash everything and then, you know, he'll get my point once he hear this record. And it didn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? The way I was thinking, he responded like not even 8 hours after the record dropped, and he was pissed off. You feel me? And he was like, these rappers losing their mind, and then I saw he was in his feelings because he was like, oh, come on, dog, the gunplay and all that, and I'm like, bro, I'm like the realest motherfucker you got. You know what I come from. Pat couldn't tie my shoelaces with this street shit, and you going on here trying to make me look wild. You feel me? So I knew he was in his feelings. You feel me? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought he was gonna take it a whole different way. But that's where I said, you know what I'm saying, that's how stupid of me to think that, you know what I mean, I could do a record airing out, regardless if it's true as it gets, you know what I mean? That's where I told you earlier, I wish I would have just called him that one more time. Maybe that one more time would have had a different outcome.
Right. And in the song, you compared yourself to Beanie Siegel and said Papoose was Memphis Bleak, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how I always felt. I felt like it wasn't a shot to Pap at all, yo. I just felt at the time like you rap one way. So it's like, yo, you rap one way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how to make radio hits and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, every time we met up, I used to show mad love to this nigga. You feel me? And it was like, he was acting like, like his shit didn't stink. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. I even hooked him up with a show that one of my people had in Philly and brought him down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just being a team player. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying, I just didn't think that he was better than me in no kind of way as an artist, image, anything. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna prove it rather than talk about it. You know what I mean? Because you always want to prove yourself. You feel me?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna
You
prove it.
real young at this time, so the ego is still, very a little more strong than you being more mature and being able to process things.
Yeah, well, I was still, I was still more mature, but still, you still got the ego thing, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean. But it was like nothing was getting taken the way I thought it would get taken. You feel me? And at that time, I didn't give a fuck. Like I was ready. I was on some me against the world type shit. I didn't give a fuck what a nigga thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? If we gonna do what we gotta do, you know what I'm saying? And everybody knew that's how I came. I came ferocious when I went to the party. I went with me, with 100 niggas over there. You feel me? And the niggas that I went with, you know what I'm saying? The main niggas I went with would be a solid 6 to 7. There's only like 2 or 3 that's not there no more. The other niggas is still there. I still got my team. You feel me? And they the team that I mean, that I surround myself with to this day. And you know what I'm saying, is only a handful. You feel me? And it was like, I come over there ferocious. I come on some real shit. I come over there like a lion. But my business side of it, it needed to, it was still, rough around the edges. You feel me? But who ain't chop? You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you start getting motherfuckers to mold them and shit like that. You know what I mean? And maybe if Slade would have molded me more earlier, with all the talks that we had, I wish he would have told me some of the shit. You know what I mean? That he told Pap in the beginning, because I felt like I was cheated in many ways. You know what I'm saying? And shit. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing that really I said that was not real about the whole thing, because my whole thing, Chop, is next that I want to do is I really want to take a lot to take the test, and I'll bet you I pass with flying colors because that's how strong I am about what I say. I know everything I say, I'm a pass. You feel me? And a lot of people will really get exposed when the truth come out, because it's like, yo, why am I going to lie about certain things that happen? You know what I'm saying? If you hear the story, everything adds up. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you where I was wrong at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I told you, I wish I would have took certain things with Slay a different way. You know what I mean? Even to him, to now when him passing, may he rest in peace. I was the one always reaching out and said, "Joe, I want to talk to you." You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. And right at the end, I knew that was going to happen. And it's unfortunate what happened, but everything happened for a reason, man.
So on Vlad, he said that you lied about your situation and that you felt like he was holding you back, but he was really the one that was trying to give you an opportunity. What did you think at the time? Like, of the narrative that was being pushed that you were biting the hand that fed you?
You know what? When he met me, when Slade met me, he met me because I was already moving. It's like I told you, I already had Philly on lock. I had Jersey on lock. I wanted to get to New York to get hurt. You feel me? And I got hurt with him. But before him, Green Lantern wanted to fuck with me too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But the reason I didn't fuck with Green Lantern because I said Slay always talk that street shit. He like that drama shit. I come from an aggressive background. I come from Camden. I'm aggressive already. You feel me?
You think if we one in the same, he's gonna understand how I approach this.
Exactly. And that was the reason I went that way. Where if I would have done it later on, I think I would have went with Green on some real shit. You know what I mean? And then again, it might not have panned out good either. You feel me? Because when you come to see a lot of these DJs, to me, they don't promote they artists right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. You feel me? Like some of the biggest names got on by their own hustle. You feel me? Their own grind. You know what I'm saying? And going in about it a different way. But not to take away what I'm trying to say, but that's where I went with him at because it felt like he would understand me more when I signed with him. When he said that trying to bite the hand that feeds you, in no way, shape, or form. I respected that man to the utmost. Up to this day, I never deny what Slade did for me. Slade got me heard in a bigger platform. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Slade, I would have not got the love I got in a lot of places. But before Slade came, a lot of my collabs and everything that came off of me proving myself. You feel me? Me being the MC I was, where niggas just fuck with me genuinely and didn't ask me, yo, pay for this, pay for that. I ain't had to pay for shit. You know what I mean? Because they knew who I was. They knew how I was coming. They knew I was going to jump on a record and make that shit better. You feel me? So it was never a thing where I bit the hand that fed. I was hurt. You feel me? I was hurt because it felt like I felt betrayed. You feel me? I felt like, damn, you did this shit for Pat. Why can't you do it for me? You know what I'm saying? Like I was already hurt. I was in my feelings. You feel me? Like I was, and I had every right to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a fucking very serious lawsuit going on where niggas was trying to take everything I worked hard for from me. You know what I'm saying? You know these niggas are selling me like a commodity. These niggas is getting fucking millions of fucking dollars from niggas putting shares and everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, you see everything that's going on. You know what I mean? And you ain't gonna really stand by me with this shit.
Right. So
So
he believed the narrative then, right? That you actually did take the money from these guys. These guys actually did pay you. He didn't believe you when you told him that that didn't happen.
no, well, what happened was like I was telling you, because we didn't get to that yet. Frank, who was my acting manager at the time, he said, yo, let's just start building something. Now, this was before the whole Slay situation. So let me, put this whole thing into perspective. You feel me? We started working on a project that was called Resurrecting the Dead that I wanted to drop. You feel me? That Slay is actually on the cover. But Slay was on the cover. I wasn't signed with Slay at that time. Slay wound up hosting that mixtape because of what I was doing to the shows I was going to. The show, like I told you, I was killing the shows. He was like,
Right.
I don't notice he invited me to Hot 97. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't get signed to that point. I already had that mixtape done. And he said, "Do you got a mixtape out?" I said, "I'm about to drop one." He said, "Let me host it for you." And he wound up hosting it on the Lookout. You feel me? He said, "I'm gonna do this for you on GP, and I'm going in on 32 tracks." And that's what he did, because that was the effect I was having in the hip hop game when I came in. Now, the dudes I was fucking with, which was Frank, I was fucking with Frank. He was dealing with these other dudes. So Frank said, "Look, look. What we gonna do is in the meantime, until we can land something, we gonna take care of this, that, and for you to stay out the street, I'll give you around 6 grand monthly. You feel me? I said, good. I said, that's cool with me. You feel me? Now, mind you,
But you
Slate
never signed any paperwork though.
at all, at all.
Hmm.
That's why I said I would take a lie detector test on orders. But I really don't got to because I won the lawsuit for a reason. You feel me?
Right.
So I won. You know what I'm saying? I'll send you some copies of the shit. You feel me? Just to show, you know what I mean, how they knew that that signature was forged. You feel me? So that says it all. You feel me? But me being the type of dude I am, I just want to stick you with more proof just to show how solid I am with my word. You know what I'm saying? These dudes they took and they sent me a check. You feel me? They sent me a couple checks. You feel me? A couple checks. 6 grand, 4 grand, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They sent to me. So I said, Frank, regardless of what they sending me this money, they're gonna want something later for this. You feel me? I started catching up to it. You know what I mean? Onto it. So if we're gonna sit down and talk, let's hurry up and sit down and talk to these dudes. And it just kept on feeling like they was prolonging that sit down. You know what I'm saying? When I finally talked to the dude, Adam, him and Frank started having their own kind of beef. You feel me? Because they
Oh
was doing
shit.
some other shit. You feel me? So it was all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
There was a lot of layers to this.
It's a whole bunch of layers to this bullshit, yo. It was crazy. So at that time, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on with these niggas? I didn't give a fuck because I don't got nothing signed. They don't got nothing signed with me. You know what I'm saying? But they did send me a couple dollars. You feel me? They sent me 6 grand, they sent me 4 grand, and they sent me like 3,000 more. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me money. Like you feel me? Like I said on my statements and everything with my lawyers. You feel me? But all of a sudden they put a press release. That's what I was trying to say earlier. And they put a press release stating that they gave me 500,000 for my label.
Wow.
That's when the whole thing, and that's when I said I knew these motherfuckers was giving me this money for some reason. You feel me? And I said I knew these motherfuckers. So I said, yo, Frank, they saying they gave me this, boom, boom, boom. Well, that money was just to keep you out the street. Boom, 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 Frank. Regardless if that money was to keep me out the street, a nigga like me, you think I'm gonna stay out the fucking street until I'm right? Fuck no. All that money did was help me motherfucking re-up. That's all that shit did, chop. You
Right.
feel me?
He was
Like,
like, now we gonna double up. We gonna
exactly.
double
You know what I'm saying?
up.
I'm like, yo, at the time, I'm like, I'm buying a half a brick now. I might be able to buy a brick. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Anyway,
Statute
but
of limitations is over. It's all good.
exactly. You feel me? Exactly. There you go. Thanks for clearing it up. Thanks. You feel me? But that's how I went about it. I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm getting, but they ain't never had no paperwork on me. You feel me? Then they make this press release. Boom. That's when I knew I had to stop fucking with them. And I said, oh, these niggas on some wild shit. You feel me? Like they doing some wild shit, and that's when everything started coming out and into fruition. And then my lawyer, man, he did an excellent job because then he was like, yo, these niggas got you on investorshub.com and they talking about all the shares that they put up for you. And that's when I started finding out these motherfuckers was just making money off my name. And
Wow.
that they was gonna get this amount of money when he signs and all this crazy shit. And up to this day they still talk about it. You can go on Investors Hub and you see it.
So Slay didn't believe that the signature was forged.
Slay believe me. Slay
Oh, he
believe
did
me.
believe you
Slay believe
because
me.
on Vlad TV he was saying things like he believed the other guys though.
But this is the crazy part. If you go After this, you're gonna analyze the video. Because in the video, he said he didn't know the guys, right? You heard when he said, I don't know. He was signed to some guys. I don't know.
Right, right.
Boom, boom, boom. But then towards the end of the video, he said, if I wanted to do damage, I would have brought the guys up here. So which one is it? You don't know them or you know them? You feel me? That's
Right.
what I was mad at. That's what got me mad. I'm like, yo, Slay, I told you everything. You feel me? I told you these motherfuckers trying to get me. I told you what was going on. I never kept that nigga in the dark, yo. Never. You feel me? Never kept him in the dark. And that's the part that hurted me the most. That I was like, damn, I told this nigga everything. Now he felt like he don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I knew what it was for. It was because he couldn't help me pay for the shit I paid for. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like owning to your shit, like, no, I couldn't pay for it. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. But you knew I had the angle on you, but you helping Pat pay for that shit, for all his shit. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't help me, maybe for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it really was, Chop. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go too deep into it because Slade, he passed. May he rest in peace. I wish me and him would have made ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't wish death on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I really was trying to see if we could, wrap that thing, especially when I heard he was sick. I just wanted to be at peace with him. You know what I'm saying? And really, I was hitting him like crazy. You feel me? And hit certain people up that knew him, and it was like, yeah, Lou. You know what I'm saying? I know he definitely gonna want to, rap to you, but let him get better first or whatever. You feel me? And it didn't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And
That's unfortunate.
it's bitter. Yeah, it's bittersweet, man, because I know me and him would have probably just laughed that shit off. You know what I'm saying? And because he definitely was a good friend when we did talk. You know what I'm saying? Me and him had some serious talks that that'll always stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably never talk about him again. It was that real. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucked up. You know what I mean?
Can you I know we want to be respectful, of course, because he passed, but can you speak to the blackballing that you experienced in the industry as a result of that situation?
I mean, I think Fat Joe blackballed me more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? His hateful ass. You just him, his fat ass being so fucking hateful, and the crazy part is I even got emails that I sent to his man, like his man trying to be on trying to talk to the motherfucker, like, you feel me, like, yo, let's have a conversation. I know you probably think that your fucking shit don't stink and that you way above me, but why you always mention me in subliminal ways? You talking about me, like, come on, man, rocket scientists can figure that shit out. But yo, why don't you try building with a brother Latino? You know what I'm saying? Like, we Latins, you know what I'm saying? This is the bullshit. You feel me? We Latino, we supposed to be strong or whatever, but you never like another Latin motherfucker shining. You feel me? And then I think what took the cake with him was my relationship with Cuban. You feel me?
All right. So before we get into all that, how did the situation with Joe start to begin with?
The situation with Joe started because him and Slade, they got along at one point. That's when they used to
Mm-hmm.
call Slade the Black Fat Joe. You feel me?
Right.
And and they got along. They wound up parting ways because they still, the story already. They got into the beef in the past, and they stopped fucking with each other. Slade never liked it, the motherfucker, from what I know. So
He never liked them, but he went by the Black Fat Joe anyways.
no, that was when they got along.
Oh, okay.
That's when they got along. That's when he was doing little shit for Fat Joe. They was
Mm-hmm.
cool, and then they had the fallout. You feel me? And then they had their fallout, and they stopped fucking with each other. You feel me? So
And he really didn't like him at that point. So it wasn't minor, it was like serious.
yeah, they
Okay.
really wasn't seeing eye to eye. You feel me? So when they wasn't seeing eye to eye, it started with that already, their personal shit. Now, I never got in their personal shit or nothing like that. But if I could recall, as far as I could recall, when he put his hands on Pat and that whole shit happened with him and Pat, that's when it started getting a little bit more serious. You feel me? And me being the little idiot I was like, yo, what you want me to do? He's like, I don't give a fuck. Shit on that nigga. Diss that motherfucker. If you want diss that motherfucker, diss him. So me being a little idiot, I
K
took
Slay told you to?
yeah,
He said if you want to, go ahead.
Slay would have never played nothing on the radio if he didn't approve of it. Am I right?
Right.
Then why did them diss tracks get played at the time I dropped them?
Makes sense.
Exactly. Everybody talk all that shit, but why did Slay play the diss tracks that I did with Fat Joe when I dropped them? When I dropped them, he played them. You feel me? So it's like, how how am I wrong on it? You feel me? That tells
So
me
did
something.
you really want to diss Joe, or you was just like, you know what, I'm riding for my man, and then that's what it
I
really
had to be
was?
I had to be truthfully honest. I was riding for my team. I'm a team,
Gotcha.
I'm a team player. You feel me? And where I come from, if that's my team, that's my team. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said at that point I was a little idiot because it was like Joe never did nothing to me. You feel me? At that point, he never did nothing to me. At that point, I ain't even know Cuban. You feel me? So I didn't know how cool I was and none of that shit. You feel me? But I started getting, I started getting hits from his people like, yo, why you dissing Joe and this and that. So why you dissing Joe, this and that. And I'm like, because I felt like fucking dissing him. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna say, Slade told me to. You feel me? I'm a team player. You know what I mean? At the
Right,
time.
right.
So when the situation with him and Pap happened, that's the second time that I really went hard on him. You feel me? And then he
And you and
started.
Pap were not really getting along at this time, were you?
You know what? I knew Pat was a funny dude, but we would still see each other and still acknowledge each other. We was on the
Okay.
same team. You feel me? So regardless of what it was, we was on the same team. We wasn't
Mm-hmm.
hanging out. We wasn't buddy buddy or none of that shit. You feel me? But we was on the same team, so I had to be a team player. You feel me? Like,
Right.
and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing no goofy shit or none of that bullshit. I was still being, I was playing team ball. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't, it wasn't getting reciprocated. You know what I'm saying?
So you put out the diss tracks, and what is the response? Do you hear directly from Joe? Or you just hear from his people?
Well, Joe, that's the subliminal king. You feel me? So all you hear from Joe is subliminals, and then his people was the ones that was doing all the talking, and you know what I'm saying. And I was always in New York, so I was like, man, it's whatever. You feel me? Like I'll pull up to wherever y'all at. You feel me? My mindset was different. You know what I'm saying? Then at that time, I didn't give a fuck. I was inviting all kind of shit. You know what I mean? And that's when he wound up going to Philly to do a show, and he was on South Street, and he didn't know that the person that was working in one of the stores he went into was my little nephew. So my little nephew was like, "Yo, Fat Joe's in the store. You feel me? He about to buy some shit." So I'm on the line. I'm on the phone. So he was like, "Yo, Joe, what you think about Latin MCs?" So he was like, "Nah, they starting to come up. They doing their thing or whatever." So my nephew was like, "What you think about Joel Ortiz?" He was like, "Yeah, Joel Ortiz, that's my man. He cool. You feel me?" He said, "Yeah." He said, how about terminology?" He's like, "Yeah, he cool. Boom, boom, boom." He's like, "How about Big Lou?" They're like, "Oh, that's a big punk clone. Fuck that motherfucker." So my nephew,
Oh,
yeah.
so
So
you
I hear
heard
my,
it. You
yeah,
heard
I
it
heard
on
it.
the phone.
I
Wow.
heard it live through the phone. Like I heard it good and clear. So my nephew will tell you the story better. But my nephew was like, "Oh, you the one that bit pun style." You feel me? So now I'm telling my nephew, I'm like, "Damn, why you ain't tell me you was gonna go in like that, nigga? I'm about to fly over there." You feel me? And he was like, "Nigga, you the only one that bit pun shit, you fake ass." So he like, "Oh man, get the fuck out of here, nigga." So I'm hearing the commotion, but I'm hearing Joe's people like, "Come on, get out the store. He just wants you to fuck his ass up." You feel me? So he was like, "Yo, homie, fall back, fall back." I'm through the phone. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I said, "These niggas touched my nephew. I'm airing their ass out." And they left the store. You feel me? They left the store. He left. You know what I mean? That's all I could hear. You know, you can't tell what's going on really through the phone. I just heard my nephew go off on him. You know what I'm saying? And him telling my nephew, you know, he's a punk clone. You feel me?
Because I know like during Joe's interview with Funk Flex, I think like he stopped it like midway and started taking shots at you. He was like, this rapper from Camden and he's hating on me or something. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was pretty clear who he was talking about.
It was funny because they was talking about Nicki Minaj
And Cardi
and
B,
no
right?
Remy
Not
Ma.
Cardi B, sorry, and Remy Ma. Remy Ma
Yeah,
and Nicki Minaj, right? And how they had that situation, right?
exactly. And this motherfucker lost his mind and just they talking about Remy and Nicki, and he just come out and say, it's like the kid from Camden, New Jersey that said, Fat Joe, don't let me get on. He know he talking about me. Like, you fat piece of shit. And I'm like, God damn, is it that bad? You making millions, or you supposedly making millions, and you worrying about the little fish in the small pond. Like, you feel me? Like, you f***ing with me, you know what I'm saying? Or saying subliminals. I ain't, this motherfucker is crazy. You feel me? Like, that's how much he just don't acknowledge like other Latin MCs. You know what I'm saying? He just a natural born hater. You know what I'm saying? And for me being in New York and knowing a lot of niggas in New York, man, the stories I done heard from, you know how you could read people and you could tell if they lying or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm good at reading motherfuckers, and I like to know that I can tell when somebody lying or I can feel their aura or whatever. Man, I can see that Joe he got a lot of people brainwashed, yo. You know what I'm saying? And he made a living off of, you know what I mean, taking credit for other people's lives. You feel me? And acting like he was this thugged out nigga and shit like that. You feel me? First of all, you knock me. He's a big knock me motherfucker. Like me, I used to like fighting niggas that walk the way he walked with a crooked leg and shit like that, just to fuck their ass up. Cause I'm only 5'8", but my knuckles hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I got hands. You feel me? You- I'm gonna let you swing. I might hit you. You know what I'm saying? Let my head hit your knuckle to see how hard you hit. Then I'm gonna fuck your ass up. And it's like, come on, man. You can't fight. I could tell you can't fight the way you walk. Your legs is scrawny. You got a big fat body, and you talk crazy all the time. You feel me? And that's what I don't respect about him. You feel me? Like he like picking on people. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
So have you ever had a chance to talk to him in person, or did you like try to somehow
I tried to, but that motherfucker is just he's a selfish motherfucker. I tried to, but I guess he look at it like, oh, you diss me, and my diss wasn't as bad as other records like you had with 50 Cent and all them niggas. You feel me? It was nowhere near that caliber. So, you know, why can't you have a conversation with somebody that's trying to do something positive with you? Because when I reached out to him, I was trying to do something positive for my city, for Camden. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm everybody in Canada, a lot of people in Canada respect me and I support the politics and everything out there. But what I wanted to bring to Camden was I told him, I said, I wanted to squash whatever I had with you on front of everybody in Camden for they could see that if Luke could do it, y'all can do it. You feel me? That's the type of message I wanted to send.
Right. It's bigger. It's bigger than the beef.
Exactly. Exactly. But to him, you know what I'm saying, he's not looking at it like that. You feel me? And it's sad.
So you got word back from his people, or you heard from him directly?
Well, his people hit me up. His people hit me up and he said, "Yo, Joe don't got no beef with you. Everything is cool on our side." And shit like that. And then I said I wanted to bring him down for that and then possibly do a show. But I know he gonna charge for a show. But you know, we got investors and everything that will pay for the after party and the show and you know, put the money in his pocket or whatever. And he just said, "Yo, Joe ain't got no beef with you, but right now he's booked or some bullshit. You feel me? Or some shit." So I knew right there what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you talking a good one, but you know what I mean? And then when he came for somebody that I know, a good brother that I know from the hood that throws parties. Then he came down. You know what I'm saying? But it was like he just came down quick. He didn't perform or nothing, and then they rolled out. Same way with Pap. You know what I'm saying? Like I tried to hit Pap, but these niggas is funny. You feel me? They don't. It's like they don't want to talk no real shit. To sit down and try and really see on the same page. I don't know if they think they better than motherfuckers or what it is, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Because the situation with Joe, I feel like as far as like 50 in that beef, it was a political move because it would benefit him. Because a lot of people have said that that beef really hurt him in the states, especially like because 50 had his foot on his neck. You know what I mean? Like it was really tough for him. So like him squashing that beef benefited him. And so for him to squash it with you or like squash it with Cuban, I don't think that he saw like an incentive in that, right?
right, right. That's
It's because it's not out of love. It's not done out of like genuine love of like, yo, you know what? I want to see other motherfuckers win. And so like a lot of times, like you brought up earlier with not wanting to see other Latino rappers really shine, and outside of Pun, of course, right? We saw like Pun was the main one, but after Pun had passed, it's like a lot of I mean, nobody got to really put out a solo album, like there was never anyone else for him to try to push to get to that level.
right,
And a lot of people feel like it was a jealousy thing, like putting someone else on that was Latino would dim his light.
right.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, definitely. You know what I mean? Because you see it time and time again, especially just the story with him and Cube. You can see all the shit that don't add up. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. You feel me? I mean, you hit it right on the head. Like that's exactly how I felt, and it's sad the hold that he got on certain people like Nori and other niggas that I once respected in the game that I just can't respect no more because it's like you look at them like puppets now, like or ass kisses or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you just see the difference in motherfucking MCs how they can sell their ass. You feel me? Like even certain niggas that I know that I did records with. I did records with a couple of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? That that it was like I felt some type of way because of maybe he influenced them motherfuckers or they I don't know, they feel like they own something instead of keeping that shit 100. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit ain't real. You know what I mean? That ain't what the culture represented in hip hop to me. You feel me? That ain't what I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with something realer that represented the culture. It almost seems like they fit more into the culture of today, not the culture from the past. Even though they old as hell, they don't fit into the culture of the past. They fit good.
Maybe like they adjusted with the times and kind of like you have to sell out in a way.
Yeah, well, it's good to adjust to the times, but the way they adjusted into the sucker part of today's times. You feel me? Where they think snitching is cool, but then they'll give you this whole persona like, yo, I can't be with a snitch nigga, boom, 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 and all this and shit. Or I can't be with this nigga, but here you go, you selling out your brother that was on drugs, that you admit was on drugs, but he's supposed to be your brother, but you don't help him put him in a rehab. You go talk shit about him. You feel me? Like you know
You
how
talking about Charlie Rock?
exactly, man. Rest in peace, Charlie
Yeah,
Rock
rest in
out
peace,
there.
Charlie.
You know what I mean? Like Charlie Rock, you feel me? Like that was his man. That was his right hand man at that. And it's like you don't shit. You know how many niggas that was my right hand that I'm still friends with to this day. I would drive their ass to rehab. Now, if they keep on with the bullshit and it's almost like you can't help them no more, then I can see where you branch off. That wasn't the that wasn't the thing that happened with him and Charlie Rock LD. You feel me? Charlie Rock took the initiative to get himself clean and did it quick. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't stick by him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? And from me seeing that, it shows you the type of person that he really is. You feel me? Like you really could see, yo, this motherfucker as authentic as he say he is. And you know, people gonna have they opinions about it, but the real ones is gonna feel like the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that to people that's really your family or niggas that you call your brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brothers go about it different. You feel me? And settle it different. You know what I mean? That's just me. It's just like the whole Cuban story. I just feel like I didn't like that Cube. I was the first one that told Cuban, yo, Cube, that just do music. Who I tell you? And he like, nah, Lou, I know, man, blah, 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 blah. Yo, Lou, I used to get on his fucking nerves. Cube would tell you. And I said, he still, nigga, focus on music. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, at the end of the day, I even called Cube one day and I said, Joe, if I go meet this fat motherfucker, he's gonna just try and turn you against me. And I said, you know me, right? Cube would tell you because I told Cube, I said, you think I would do that shit to you? The first thing I'm gonna say is, if Cube come up, you can never damage my relationship with Cube because that's my brother. You feel me? Now, if there's a problem with me being cool with Cube, then me and you don't need to be cool at all. Because I'm not gonna stop being cool with somebody that's like family to me because you say so. I don't got that Nori blood. You know what I'm saying? That's Nori. That's the mother dumb motherfuckers. You feel me? I'm a man. You know what I mean? You can't pick my friends for me, or you can't pick who I'm gonna be with. You know what I'm saying? Have some motherfucking yo ass. They ain't got no morals when they letting another man dictate how they move. You feel me? Have some integrity with your shit. I got too much integrity. I got too much shit. You know, I can't do that. I can't be fake. I don't know how to be fake.
Let me play devil's advocate in that situation, right? So a lot of people feel like Nori is just being loyal to Joe because he's been rocking with Joe for so long. Other people feel like he's a puppet for Joe, or they feel like because he's spoken about Cuban on his show, allow Joe to speak about Cuban and everything, then as a journalist, which now he denies that he is a journalist, which before he did claim he was one, it's his job to get the other side of the story as well. But I think that him letting Cuban go on there, he wouldn't be able to defend everything that Cuban would press him with about Joe. You know what I mean? And it would make him look really bad. How do you feel about that?
I gotta say, I still gotta say that Nori look fake as hell doing that. Cause if you was real, you could tell that Nori is bothered. You feel me? You could tell he bothered, but he trying to keep that loyalty to Joe. A real motherfucker is gonna tell Joe, look, I don't give a fuck how mad you get at me. I feel as though you wrong. You feel me? Maybe you and Cube should try and have a conversation. I don't give a if you don't want to hear it. I want to see y'all brothers get together. I want to see y'all. That's a real motherfucker. You feel me? That You don't give a how he feel. You just telling him the truth if that's your brother. I gotta be real with my brothers. Me and my brothers, we argue all the time. And at the end of the day, I don't care how mad I am with my brother. At the end of the day, we say I love you, hug each other, we walk away. You know what I'm saying? That's how a brother is supposed to be. I don't know that. I don't know what type of brother that they their definition of brother is. It's different. I don't know because a brother be honest with their brother. You know what I'm saying? Nori is almost kissing his ass, doing what that's not loyalty. I don't know. That ain't loyalty to me. You're not keeping no loyalty by what? By being fake? By not saying really what you feel? Because you could tell Nori don't like this shit.
Yeah. And that's what Cuban
You
was
could tell it's
saying.
written all over his
Cuban was
face.
saying that before, where it was like he tried to get them back together before, and then eventually he went down the road of like, well, this is what's going to benefit me more because of Drink Champs, because of, and Joe owns part of Drink Champs too. So that's the other argument, is that Cuban can't go on there and talk about one of the owners then in a bad way.
Right. Let Nori tell Joe exactly something like the way I'm saying it to you. Like be real with him. Nori will be fired in less than 24 hours. And you would probably never know why if he keep it 100 with Joe. Joe don't like nobody keeping it 100 with him because he think he's right about everything. You feel me? I don't know how people can't see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like people live in this makeup world. It's like me when I see Cuban. When I see Cuban now, I tell him right now, I said, Cube, 10 years ago, you was a pretty boy and everything. You's an ugly motherfucker now. So stop trying to be the ladies' man. Because Cuban Link ain't the ladies' man no more. And that's my brother. I love him to death. Cuban ain't gonna get mad at me. He gonna say, yeah, I am an ugly motherfucker right now. I still pull bitches though. And that nigga still pull bitches. But the bitches is a little older, child. They a little fatter, a little. They don't
Oh,
look like quite like that. Nah, let me
you
stop
gonna get
fucking
me
with
in
you.
trouble now. You gonna get me in trouble. How you let that motherfucker talk about me
Nah,
like that on
nah. He always fucking with me. He always fucking with me. That
I see
motherfucker
what you guys
always
doing.
busting
Now
on
you
me. I had to get
now
him
you
back.
went through the beluga door. You turned on me.
Nah, he gonna get me back. His ass gonna get me back. But he always get now it's my turn because that motherfucker always fucking with me.
So how did you meet Cuban? How did that relationship build?
You know what? That's it's like one of my best memories meeting Q, man. And that's how I knew he was an authentic nigga. Like I went over there to a studio, I think it was in Jersey. I don't know if it was it was on the outskirts, I think of Jersey. And I think it was Rappy. Shout out to Rappy too, yo. Rappy, that's my boy, man. Rappy a good dude.
Shout out to Rappy.
Yeah, that's a good dude right there. But I think it was Rappy. I know. Damn, I don't even recall how we got to that studio. I know we just went to a studio in Jersey, and he was gonna be there, and we was gonna meet up to do a track. And I go to the lab here and there. You feel me? I go with a couple of my guys, and we just get right to work. You feel me? And when I get in the booth, I do my thing. You know what I'm saying? That when I come out, he said, "Bro, you gave me chills." You know what I'm saying? It felt. He said something along the lines like it felt like I was working with Pun for a little bit. You feel me? And when he said that, yo, I just shook my head like
That's the biggest compliment that you could get.
yeah. It was dope. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget that when Q told me that, coming from him. And I was like, I said something like, you can't compare me. That's no comparison. He's like, man, look, just take and run with it. Something he said, and he was like, bro, you just gave me that vibe. You know what I'm saying? And it's something I'll never forget. You know what I'm saying? Coming out his mouth because that was his brother. You feel me? That was his brother, and that's one of the greatest MCs of all time. Period. You feel me? So coming, hearing that, it made me feel good. But it was also an honor, working with Q because Q was one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? People don't give him his just due, but Q should be, what I mean, he should be mentioned with a lot of these motherfuckers, but he don't because the forces that be, what I'm saying, that blackballed them. You know what I'm saying? And I know about that shit because I got some of that treatment too. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to
Yeah, talk about that because you mentioned that you felt that Fat Joe blackballed you more than anyone. Was there like particular instances where like people told you, "Hey, Joe told me not to work with you," or you saw people's attitude change? What was it about?
every time I found the lane that could have benefited me, it didn't benefit me because of him. You feel me? And it was always a thing that they didn't tell me straight up, but after they told me like, yo, I work with Joe, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, I would do more, I would do a lot of background check to see who was fucking with who at the time. You feel me? There was one incident where I was talking to somebody from I think it was Universal or somebody, I don't recall. And I'm trying to gather my thoughts because I just want to be on point as I can. And no. No, I got it. It was actually his man. That's where I was telling you it was Steve LaBelle. And
Oh, there we go.
yeah, and Steve was like, yeah, I said I looked you up, you said you could do this or whatever. I said, my people hooked me up and told me to get with you or whatever. You feel me? And I said, but look, I'm gonna keep it 100. I see you work with Fat Joe before. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. Is that going to be an issue? And he said, nah, it's not going to be an issue. Why should it be an issue? You feel me? I said, you sure it's not going to be an issue? He said, I bet you he don't even remember you. So I said, nah, he gonna remember me. I said, so so I said, that motherfucker gonna remember me. Trust me. He takes shots at me all the time. So it's like, so I don't think Steve knew to the capacity that that shit was serious because I don't think he did his background on me that I used to be with Slay and you feel me and the history. But a day later, you know what I'm saying? Me and him get to chopping it up, and he was like, "Look, I can see you do tracks with this person, that person. It's good to do collabs with 'em." I'm hearing them out. You feel me? And we talking, boom, 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 and building a rapport. You know what I'm saying? So after we building this rapport, I said, "So what's the next step?" He said, "Look, I want to send some things out and shit like that." He said, "I ain't gonna lie." He said, "I could do it for you. You feel me and shit. Just send me, the money that it takes. You know what I mean? The couple dollars he wanted to do a couple things. You feel me? So I sent him $500. You feel me? And I said, let me just do that. Let him take care of that and send him the 500. After less than a week, I didn't hear from him for like a week or less than a week. He hits me up. He said, "Yo," he was like, yeah. He says, "Yeah, everything. Remember you was telling me to join with you and Joe and shit." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Wow, what's up? Is there a problem?" He's like, nah, but you cool with him, right? So I'm like, this motherfucker is like, he acting funny, like, you feel me? So I'm like, what you mean? I told you, I had a situation. And he was like, oh, all right. He was like, well, look, let me get back to you. I said, that was weird. He gets back to me 2 hours later, and he said, yo, I can get you on this track with Bum B, but Bum B want 15,000. So I said, what? I said, what the fuck is you talking about? I said, I ain't never paid for a feature in my life. Not saying that I won't pay for a feature, you feel me? But I'm thinking this nigga is fucking with me genuinely on trying to get me out there because he heard my music, he know about me. I said, this motherfucker trying to get 15 racks. I said, now I'm feeling like you a fucking scam artist. You feel me?
Right.
So, or trying to make money. But then it hit me like, this motherfucker is talking to Joe. You feel me? And they trying to see if I'm gonna be that stupid motherfucker to get this nigga. And I said, nah. I said, nah, bro. I said, yo, send me my 500 back. You feel me? I said, I send you 500 to take it. Send me my fucking $500 back, nigga, because this is some bullshit. You feel me? So he was like, nah, is that this and this and that? And I said, nah, send me my 500 back, bro. I said, that's all. He didn't respond. I hit him back the next day. I said, yo, what's up, yo? I said, you supposed to be this motherfucker that's out there, you feel me, and shit like that. This is how you doing yours. You taking 500 from motherfuckers now? You can't. I said, just send me my 500 back. And I ain't gonna, he never answered.
Wow.
So I said, yo, and I got all the proof to show you. And I was like, you know what? Keep that 500. I said, that goes to show y'all niggas broke as shit. I said, it says that y'all got all this money, but y'all taking five. I said, that's how pathetic y'all. I said, keep the 500, nigga. I said, I'm gonna see you though. You feel me? I said, keep that 500. And I left it like that. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. You feel me?
And you never heard back.
Never heard from that motherfucker again.
Wow. Yeah, because I know he had a situation with Cuban as well, and he does work closely with Joe, so that makes sense, man.
Yeah, and it was never. It was like, you know, it was other things said. I don't know exactly what was said, but it's all on file. You feel me? Shit, tell him to show you. You know, you know what happened. You feel me? That nigga is crazy, bro. And it's like, yo, what kind of fucking shit is that, bro? Like these motherfuckers is clowns, bro. And that's how I got the title to the project I'm working on called Icons of All Cons. Because you start seeing little by little how most of these people that's in this industry is either fucking common or they fake as hell, man. And it's sad, bro, because this is the culture I fell in love with, man. And it's disappointing. You feel me? It makes you damn near not want to do records no more because of this shit.
The music business is not about music as much as it is about the business and the politics, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
That's
and it's crazy because like most of the time, I think people will choose the path of least resistance or the one that benefits them the most,
you know,
not what is right.
exactly.
You know.
Facts.
So when I interviewed Gilly, who was Big Pun's road manager, you know him, he spoke highly of you, good brother. He said that K Slay was a part of the blackballing of Cuban Link. Man, roll a clip.
I remember, God rest his soul, I don't even like to talk about it, but I remember I put it in K Slay hand and he didn't want to take it out my hand. He's like, nah, Gilly, I can't touch that. I was like, word. And me and him ain't talked for a little minute, but then we spoke again. But, I respected it. At that time, I was like, word, I ain't talked to him no more. I ain't talked to him no more. But then when we did Bang Bang Boogie, he came around and I spoke to him then. And I was just like, that shit was whack what you did, dog. But I get it. That's how you felt. That's how you felt you was going to get on. Oh, bro. In this world, you need a sponsor. To get into a certain society, you need a sponsor. You know, if you don't have a sponsor, if you're not sponsored by someone, even if you're a up and coming star basketball player, to get that super contract, you need to be sponsored by an agent. No,
So what was K Slay's response when you said that was fucked up what you did?
I don't know what his response was. He God rest his soul. He gone now, but he was just. I was like, word. He was like, oh, okay. I'm like, word, dog. I just turned around and I walked away from him. I'm like, I get it. I mean,
Did Slay ever have any conversations with you, like why you rocking with Cuban or anything like that?
You know what? Slade, this is how I know Slade fucked with me. Cause I told him one time, I said, yo, I would like to bring Cube up here. You feel me? And he said, Lou, it gotta be right, cause there's a lot of shit that happened. You feel me? But I don't mind bringing him up here. At that time, I knew that the Fat Joe shit with him was serious. You feel me? Cause he was really opening up the Cube coming up there. I didn't really know to the effect that Slade had the problems with Cube. I didn't. You feel me? And the funny shit is, Cube mentioned something that, but Cube, when Cube talks, Cube tries not to put me or people that he loved in problems. And I hate when that motherfucker do that. Cause I'm like, bro, just tell me, nigga. You know what I mean? But
Right. You want it straight raw, no chaser. And he
exactly,
right.
exactly. But you know what? I know why he does it. Because that's the love that he really got for you. And that's where I respect you back. You feel me? Because he's far from a fake motherfucker that's, you know what I mean? When he sees it's something that could hurt your opportunity, he doesn't say nothing. Because he wants you to shine. You feel me? Something that Fat Joker fucking learn from. You feel me? Because that's the type of nigga that he'll go hard for you. You feel me? And doesn't want to hurt your career. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of times that he gave me great advice. You feel me? And told me certain things. You know what I mean? On how to go about it. You know what I mean? And watch certain people. You feel me? So to his to his defense too. You know what I mean? I can see why he does. He goes about certain things because he was also protective of the way I was moving, and he knew I had love for him. You know what I'm saying? But I told Slay a couple times I want him to come up here, and I could have brought him up there. You know what I'm saying? I know I could have did that. You feel me? But we never got to accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? For whatever it was, I don't think it was because of nothing serious. You feel me? It's just we never got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But Slay actually knew I fucked with you and never said nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Never said nothing crazy about Q. And he actually always acknowledged them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was just at the time that him and Joe was going through that shit. I don't know if it was that or what. You feel me? But I really can't answer. You know what I'm saying? Because I never got that from Slay. You feel me?
Mm, okay. Because when I talked to Gilly said that it was kind of like during the Bang Bang Boogie days. Was that the
Okay.
time where Slay was having issues with Joe at that time?
I think at that time he still was having issues with Joe. Yeah. I think he still was having issues because their shit lasted a while. You feel me? They was not seeing eye to eye for a while. You know what I mean? After their whole downfall, they wasn't talking for a while. So I definitely know that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it was. mm, I don't know if it was around that time because I know they they mended their differences later on. You feel me? At the time, that I was going through the whole lawsuit thing, that's when he started fucking with Joe again. You feel me? And that's when he went on and was like, "Oh, I couldn't do nothing with you because you always wanted to diss somebody. You wanted to diss Joe Buttons. You diss Fat Joe. You diss, you know what I'm saying?" And then he tried to use that to his advantage. And
Right,
I
because
was like,
that was interesting in the Vlad. He's like, you come out with a new disc for Joe every single week or something like that, and like, but you said that he was the one that basically gave you the idea to do that.
and then he played it on the radio. So it's like, yo, how you coming at me? You feel me? Like it just didn't make sense. You feel me? So why did you play it?
Right.
Because every disc record I did, you played it. And it was like Drama King, exclusive, boom, 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 and it's me dissing these motherfuckers. So damn. So what the fuck did I miss? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this shit crazy, bro. That's that's the part that used to get me all the time. And I'm saying, damn. And motherfuckers, I used to look at motherfuckers like, To be like, yo, Lou, man, but well, you can believe what you want to fucking believe, but if you can't see that the shit was on Hot 97 or fucking Serious Shade 45, that'll answer your questions. You feel me? It wasn't too bad because he played them.
What was the reason for him and Joe beefing? Did you ever find that out?
You know what? I never asked, and I
Mm.
didn't give a shit.
It wasn't your business.
I,
I feel you. I understand.
exactly. And I never cared about it. You feel me? Like I didn't, and I never got into it. You know what I'm saying? I never explained. At that time, shop, I was so much into my own. I was on my own dick. So, I was on my own dick. I was on a mission. You feel me? And it's just crazy how everything happened. You know what I mean? But like I said, everything happens for a reason, man.
So what was the issue with Papoose? How did that start? Like, was it like a sibling rivalry or what was it like?
Nah, because he was no sibling of mine. That motherfucker was. I don't know. It was just like I just felt like he
It was from jump. It was just like from jump that there was a weird vibe
it
or
was always a weird vibe. Always. The
oh man.
vibe was never good. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because he not with nobody from Thuggication. The niggas Thugger, Thugger, all that shit that he used to say Thugger, and them niggas I fuck with all of them. You feel me? Like they was all good with me. I was always good with his niggas. You feel me? And that's the relationship I should have had with him. You feel me? Like when we recorded some of the records, I went to Brooklyn, right to their home studio they had, and recorded one of the records that went on my mixtape. And then I recorded, something with his other people from with Tadro. Shout out to Tadro, you feel me? And Embassy Elite. I did something with Embassy Elite, which was part of Thuggication. You feel me? And they was my boys, you know what I'm saying? This shit was tough too, you know what I'm saying? And we dropped a joint that was hot. And I got along with his people, and that was the relationship I should have had with him. But he was just funny style. So one of his people told me when we came out with the song, with the track, the one track, remember the joint with Busta on it that I did,
Yeah, I can't remember the name
Last
right now.
Lyricist. It's called Last Lyricist with Busta Rhymes on it. And when we did that, you know, his mans was like, "Yo, Lou, I ain't gonna lie, the way Pat welcomes you into the game is he really dissing you on your own track." Now, mind you, I had gave him my verses first. You feel me? I gave him my verses first, and he heard my shit already. So on the second verse of Last Lyricist, when he go, "Solo tiempo, I shot of the dice, hit him with a deuce or whatever," he was taking shots at me, and I was his teammate.
Wow.
But he was dissing me, but I found that out later from his own people that he actually was dissing me. You feel me? But the crazy part is everybody like my verse is better than his. So he was kind of tight. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I gave you my shit first. You feel me? I didn't feel no type of way. I didn't fear nobody, chop. Like I felt as though as if I'm gonna get on a track, I'm gonna kill it on every track. And I built a reputation for that. When I got on the track with Sheik Luch, when I got on the shit with the only one that really got me, the only person that really got with me on the joint is Buster Rhymes. And that's of course that's Buster. You
Right.
feel me?
Legend.
That's Buster. Exactly, legend. And that was an honor for the guy to get on a record. He heard me on one of the records that Slay put on the radio, and he called Slay and said, "Yo, who the fuck is that?" And Slay said, "I just signed him and shit." He said, "I'm trying to get on the record with him."
Oh shit.
And he was the first, yeah, he was the first real nigga
He got a
that gave me
reputation for that though. That he shows love, bro. Like
he
he
shows
shows
love, bro.
love, man.
He
Shout out
shows
to
real
Buster for
love,
that.
man. Shout out to Bus, man, because I wish I would have talked to him because he always, he was always a real one. You feel me? And I I wish I would have talked to him, but you know me, I was just tied up in being too loyal to people that wasn't loyal to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I stood away. But he always came through, man. And he did that track, and then I did another joint with him for his mixtape,
Mm,
and he put me on one of his records on his mixtape with Reef the Villain that we jumped on. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope. Called In the Ghetto, and you know I did a couple joints with him. You know what I'm saying? And it was timeless music. You know what I'm saying? But besides Bus, anybody that got in the track with me, Joel Ortiz, anybody, I gave it to him. You feel me?
right.
The track with Joel Ortiz, Latin Assassins. You tell me, chop. You know what I mean? Go hear that. Tell me, I wasn't holding nothing. I was killing everybody. I said I'm killing everybody, and I got that mentality from Buster, because Bus said you gave me too much props on this record. Because what I did was paying homage on the record he jumped with me. He was like, "You killed it," because I did win it and killed it. But he was like, "But sometimes, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever it is, blackout. I don't give a fuck who it is." And I learned a big lesson from Bust that day. I said, "Fuck that. Anybody else that I get on the record, I'm killing them." And that was my mentality going into it. You know what I'm saying? That I'm killing every fucking body. You know what I'm saying? And I built a reputation for that. So
So did you ever have a conversation with Pap though, like to be like, "Yo, what's the problem?"
I hit him up too, yo. I even DM'd him and I told him, I would like to talk to him. Then I hit him when Slade died too. You feel me? And I told him, I said, sorry for your loss, Pat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to talk to you. You feel me? When you get time, I left my number and everything, but nothing. You feel me?
He left you on red or what?
Man, that's all they do, bro. I try to be the bigger man.
Wow.
I try to be the bigger man, but it's always, you know what I mean? They can't never say that I ain't tried. You feel me? Like, I could show you better than I could tell you, Chop. I could even show you the DMs. I could listen, you know what I mean? I could snapshot the joints and send them to you and show you that I hit them up. You feel me? Like, and that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get with you one time. You don't get with me, fuck it. It is what it is. You say enough with, you know what I mean, with that.
Right. So when you went at him on the diss song, um, was that like when you were already having issues with Slay, right? At that point?
Yeah, that was after the joint that I did. I don't want to be right, where I was airing
Right, 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 right. Mm-hmm.
I was airing that out, and then I did the second joint that was really coming, that Destruction of Papoose joint that I dropped. It was more towards him, which, like I said, you feel me? Even that, I do. I gotta be honest. I wish I would have went about the Slay situation a different way with Pat. I could have cared less if I went at it the way I did, but at the end of the day, it's still something I wanted to squash. You feel me? Because we did have a history. We still share the history. And it's just funny that these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? He had an incident with Uncle Murder. You know what I mean? You get beat up by Uncle Murder's people. You get punched in the face. Fat Joe goes to your room with his niggas and beat you up and everything. And y'all forgiven and you could talk to these niggas. But me, I just did a diss record and you don't want to talk. It's funny as shit. You feel me?
Wow.
It's just funny the way the game is. You know what I'm saying? But this is the shit I'm talking about. How fake these motherfuckers is. You know why? Because they know they don't want to say it, but they fear. They fear you. You feel me? And I know these motherfuckers fear me. You know what I'm saying? Because now you dealing with somebody that come from the shit you talk about on your records. I come from the street. I come from that background. I come from real shit. You know what I'm saying? And the people I roll with, you know what I'm saying? They come from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they watch and they like, yo, we can't let these motherfuckers come into their world, because then they really gonna expose the people that we are. They don't want real niggas in there. They don't. You know what I'm saying? They rather have snitch niggas making records acting like real niggas. You feel me? That's all that is. You feel me? Or if you didn't snitch, you damn sure a fake ass nigga that just make records from another nigga's life. You feel me? Or what a real nigga went through. You know what I mean? And that's all this is, man. This game is not what it's cracked up to be. It's not.
Right. It's disappointing, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing, man. It's definitely disappointing.
When he had his fight with Joe, did he have a conversation with you about it at all, or did you hear from Slay like what
I
about
heard
that
every
situation?
I heard everything from Slay. Slay told me everything. You feel me? And that was me again when I did this record on him. That was me playing team ball. You feel me? And shit like that. And that's when he dissed Fat Joe.
What was the cause of them fighting again?
From what I know, they were saying that some shit about it was some shit with him and Rem or something like that.
Hmm.
And I know Joe wanted to talk to him like, yo, do you got a problem with me type shit. And he thought that Cassidy set him up. You feel me? He thought that
Yeah, yeah,
Cassidy,
yeah. I remember that.
yeah, he thought Cassidy set him up and told him where his room was. So Joe went to Pat's room and he was in there with E Dub. E Dub is actually his producer. E Dub also did um one of the beats for me for my album too. You know what I mean? Shout out to E Dub. You know what I'm saying? E Dub, he it was a lot of shit E Dub then used to say, but E Dub was like that little puppet too, man. Shout out to E Dub, but E Dub, he was a little bitch too, yo. Cause you like you could have kept shit real. You feel me? And told your mans like really what was happening. You know what I'm saying? But he used to be like, oh, ooh, please don't tell Pat this, man. But but and I used to be like, what? You know what I mean? Tell me everything, nigga. But you know, he was that's why I say he a little bitch. You feel me? Like he knew they just was using this nigga, man. And it's like he got beat up with Tap in that room. You feel me? He was in the room with him. And
Oh, so so Joe did win in that situation?
I mean, from what I heard, they went in there and Joe said, you got a problem with me. And Pap said, I guess Pap said, yeah, or something. And from Pap's record, he said he two-pieced them. But I heard that, I ain't hear all that. I heard that they got two-piece drug and everything. You feel me? Because he went in the room with a few niggas. You feel me? He went with a few niggas, and in the room, it was only him, E-Dub, and somebody else. I don't know. You feel me? I don't know. I know E Dub was one of them, and Pat, and I forget who was the other one. But they
Yeah,
got
because I
beat.
remember the radio interviews and them talking about it, going back and forth.
Yeah, and from what I heard, they caught a bad one. You feel me? They caught a bad one. They took an L, which is cool to take an L. You feel me? Just admit it. If I take an L, I'm gonna be like, man, I took an L. Fuck it. You feel me? I took an
Everybody
L. Yeah,
takes L's.
yeah. Everybody take L's, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be honest and be like, look, there was like 10 niggas and against me and two niggas. You feel me? So of course you're gonna take an L. You know what I mean? But you on records like you still got two piece, boom, boom, boom. But you ain't say how your man got stitched up and everything. You feel me? So it's like, man, be real about the shit. You feel me? Like, you know, Fat Joe gotta come with niggas. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna do the dirty work himself. That's what he do. He gotta send niggas. You feel me? That's why he uses his money to pay niggas to do the dirty work. You feel me? That's
Is that
why.
a is that like really known in the industry that that's the reputation that he has that he pays for things like that to get done?
That's the reputation a couple niggas got. You feel me? They gotta pay niggas because they was chumps. You feel me?
So when you look back at your career so far, how would you sum it up? Like, are you happy with the way that things have gone, or you wish that you could change some things?
Um, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from everything. You feel me? Of course, I'll be lying if I say I didn't want. You know, I should have been on top of the world at one point in my career. Because when I came out, I was making noise almost like a lot of the greats did. You feel me? and people was looking at me like that next Latino. You feel me? Like, and I wanted to show them that it was just more than Latin. It's just hip hop in general. You feel me? If you dope, you dope. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be because you Latin or one of the best Latin MCs. It's because you a dope MC. Just period. You feel me? And I wanted to change the complexity of that shit. And I felt as though that I could have made Grammy music. I still do type of music that niggas I go left field. I could touch a lot of lives and shit like that. I do music for radio, and you know what I mean, on wide range, but you know, it is what it is. I'll be lying if I say I ain't wish I could be rocking stages or being on all these award shows and getting awards and shit, and you know, because I feel as though I deserve that. But I learned a valuable lesson from this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it do hurt, but at the same time, I feel a lot of closure too. You feel me? Because you know, my life is good. You know what I'm saying? I got a beautiful wife. I got, you know, my kids, you feel me? And I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say it any better. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm going through me personally. I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. You feel me? A few
Oh
years
man,
back.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's cool, but that made me stronger. You feel me? So now I watch what I eat, I watch what I put on my body. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I still do my workouts and shit like that, getting my strength up. You know what I'm saying? And I still got the strength to knock a motherfucker out. So it ain't like, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
niggas to feel bad for me, like yo, this nigga weak or something. Oh, I'm far from weak. You know what I'm saying? My hands still work and my trigger finger work too. So you know what I mean? Like, hey, that's all. That's you feel me? I'm still the same nigga, but you know, you learn to appreciate life more. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate the ones that really love you. So you know, trust me, man. This everything is good, man. Like I said, I live life better than a lot of these rappers that fake like they living life. So you know, that says it all right there. You know, if I could make ends with some of the people that I know I could be cool with, and some of these niggas stop being in their feelings, I'll do that too. You know what I'm saying? But if not, then fuck them. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the music. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, touching different lives. Sometimes you just gotta ignore the bullshit and just, you know what I mean, and take a whole different route into shit. You know what I mean?
Do you think that you being Latino has held you back though? Do you think that if you were a black rapper that you would have exceeded far beyond that? Because of course hip hop is accepting and all inclusive, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes it's really not.
I hate to say it, but I think if I was a black rapper, I definitely would have got farther. You feel me?
Mm,
I think being Latino hinders you because they categorize you. You feel me? And they keep you right there in that shell with Latino MCs, and it's bullshit. You feel me? And that's where I say that I wanted to break that. You know what I'm saying? That thing where you think that we got to be placed in a certain box. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
yeah, he's the best Latin rapper for this name. Nah, fuck that. Put us in that same. Cause honestly, you can't tell me that Punny in top three dead or alive. You feel me? Like, and what he did in a short time. Imagine if that man was alive.
Right, right. Most definitely, man.
I mean, would have been alive, he would have been the one to change that thought process of putting us in a certain realm. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Of Latin MCs, and it's fucked up because there's a lot of Latin MCs that we don't know is Latin. They just don't represent it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and you know, some of them just don't want to represent it. You know what I mean? And to me, that's fake in itself. You feel me? Because you hiding what your culture really is. You know what I mean?
What do you think about how the whole narrative has changed now about who started hip hop? Because, a lot of people believe, right, that it was Puerto Ricans and blacks together in the Bronx starting hip hop. But now it's like this narrative that has started to shift out to be more like you guys were there, but you guys really didn't do that much as people like to think. It's like, no, you guys were just B-boys. You weren't really participating like that.
Yeah, they put us like we was just breakdancing and doing all that shit. Like, nah, that shit started from a dude named Charlie from back in the day that was DJing first. That was one of the great DJs that was Hispanic. You feel me? And that's why I liked it when Busta Rhymes went on stage and said Latins got just as much to do than black people with hip hop. You feel me?
Mm.
And that was big. That was big of Bus to do that. You feel me? Because Bus, he's he knows the culture. You feel me? Bus comes from that shit. You know what I mean? From where leaders are. Man, listen, when he said that, it shit gave me chills because that's what it is. You feel me? Hispanics got a lot to do with hip hop being where it is today. You know what I'm saying? And
Because you've seen that
nobody could ever
narrative,
take
right? You've seen the narrative change over the years and everything. Like a lot of people have been putting their 2 cents in, and I know Joe caught a lot of flack as well for speaking on it, and then they kind of like went into this whole cancel culture thing about, and but I think it's crazy that it's almost like it's trying to erase the contributions, because even when I
Yeah,
spoke to
it
Gilly,
definitely is.
Gilly was like saying, he was like, I used to carry the crates for Africa Bambaataa. You know what I mean? Like, so they was
Right.
it was definitely there. Man, roll the clip. Yeah, when I interviewed Charlie Rock, and he was saying that it was 50-50 because he saw it happen, and people got upset.
We all did. I used to carry the crates for Africa Bambaataa, bro. Come on. I used to go to the store for Grandmaster Caz and them, bro. We was there. We was in the jams. The mighty Gestapo, the Zulu Nation. The mighty Gestapo, bro. Nobody talk about the mighty Gestapo and the Zulu. Everybody talk about Zulu, but mighty Gestapo, bro. There was black Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are black anyway. Puerto Ricans have African culture. Like, come on, like, stop. Bro, we come from there too. Stop. And we have European blood from the conqueror. I said that. Like, come on, bro. Like, bro, Puerto Ricans is black, bro. So whatever black man does not understand, but he can have an aunt from St. Thomas and St. Croix. That's just around Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Jamaica, like Cuba, like, bro, like, come on, bro. Brazil, like, bro, listen, we all got black in us now. Some people some of us are lighter than others because some of us favor our European blood conqueror. Come on, man. Like, everybody got time for that's ignorance, but we need to educate our people.
It's like Puerto Ricans are being erased almost from hip hop as
Yeah,
far as the contributions, and it's a lot of legends that are saying it too, in a sense,
yeah,
like, I mean, you heard Lord Jamar talk about it, right? Lord, I mean, he still gives the respect and everything, but it's like he's saying that it wasn't 50-50. I believe Joe
mm,
was saying that it was 50-50. What are your thoughts? Was it 50-50, or do you think that
I don't know. I can't say it's 50-50.
hmm,
I don't know. I just got to be real, but I don't think it's 50-50. I don't think we get the credit we deserve. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I really don't think the credit we deserve. They give us, they give us, to me, they give us enough credit. Put it like that.
okay,
But, but fuck that. We shouldn't just have enough credit. We should have a lot of credit. You feel me?
right?
And that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? From if you really want to take it deep, we could take a lot of credit from B boys, from DJing, from hip hop, from rapping, from everything you want to put in that realm. Latinos have a big part to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, because starting in the Bronx and everything, there's so much Latino culture in the Bronx to begin with, right? So the influence.
Right. If you want to take it further, if you want to take it further, I ain't mean to cut you off, Chop. If you want to take it further though, on all hip hop records, you always used to hear artists, hip hop artists use samples from what? From a lot of drug dealers, the drug shit they used to do, and who was mainly the drug dealers? Latinos,
Right, right.
right? And they used to copy the voices, everything. You feel me? Even the sound effects, even the way they talk. Jay Z forever.
That Scarface shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So it was mainly Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? It's so much that Latin's got to do with hip hop. It's not even funny, and we don't get the just due that I think we deserve.
Right. What do you have going on right now? Any special projects or plans coming?
Yeah, well, I got a project. I'm about to release a mixtape album called Icons of All Kinds, like I told you, and then I got two more projects that I'm definitely working on, and I'm finally gonna dibble dabble into the movie thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm talking to some people and they getting me involved in some screenings and stuff like that. At the same time, I got my label. I got my artist. He's from Philadelphia. His name is Kid. It stands for Knowing I'm Dope, and is my young boy. He a beast. So we definitely gonna be pushing him all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He's up and coming, and he's a Latino MC.
Oh, fire. Okay.
So so I'm trying to work with some of the young Latino MCs that's from the younger generation that got something to say. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these young niggas they spit bars. You feel me? They just not letting the ones that could really spit. You feel me? They letting the ones that's doing the bullshit on more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to shake it with that. And then shout out to Kali Wop. I got a poet that does poetry, you know what I'm saying? And he's called Wad, the Wad's original poet, Kali Wop. You know what I mean? I'm working with him too, you know what I mean, and working with a singer. So, I got a few things that I got my hand in that I'm trying to put out there and and make a name.
That's dope, man. You got anything else you want to say before we end the interview?
Man, thank you, Chop, for having me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to There's other things I want to talk about that I know we could talk about later and I can enlighten you on, you know what I'm saying? Further go in depth for y'all can really get the life of Big Lou. I'll definitely take you on a ride with some of the stories itself. You know what I mean? But shout out to you, Panda Chop. You're doing an excellent job. You know what I mean? Congrats on everything you're doing and putting out stories for real niggas like myself, for Cuban Link, and for everybody that need to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like salute to you. You're doing an excellent job, man. And whatever you need from me, I got you, brother, for real.
Yo, man, I appreciate that so much, bro. Like, honestly, we all know that the drama sells and everything, and people are gonna tune in. They want to see what you got to say about the K Slay, about the Joe, and all that, and Papoose. But to me, my favorite part about this interview, seriously, was being able to understand your story from the very beginning, the things that you went through in life to be able to shape you as a person to get you to where you are today. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
that was my favorite part about hearing your story on that level. And that's why I really do it, bro. You know what I mean? Is to really be able to capture people's stories. Like that's why I look right now. Charlie, he rested in peace, but I was able to to chop it up with him and get his story, right? And now that he's
well,
gone, that's there. We got to have him talk about his life, and I'm glad that
well,
I get to talk to real solid brothers like yourself and really get your
thank,
story.
no, thank you, man. Thank you for having me again. And congrats on everything, man. And I'm here, man. Peace, everybody that's tuning in. Thank you. Love y'all. Support the nigga Big Lou. Real lyrics, real music. Lost City Nation. We got something to say. Panda Chop News. Panda Chop, my boy.
No
Be safe,
doubt,
my
man.
nigga. Love.